Why, hello, your main man here, YoshiJ979 is back to you with another video today. I am doing Ghost Recon Wildlands. I'm gonna check these challenges. I said I had new challenges. Never mind. Fucking shitting me. Oh, this is gonna be such a long week. Well, there were challenges. I think I already did them with someone. But no matter, I'll be doing side missions and intelligence and lieutenants. So, intel cache this way, so I'm gonna go that way.
I'll drive.
So, alright, it's gonna be a long day. Excuse me if it gets quiet and awkward. Get that move, bitch. Get out of my way. Time to boop 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 boop. I don't know if you ever pass Usually Dead, they just mow you down in the worst possible way. And I find that so funny. I would have found that so funny too.
Stay there. Copy that. Sniper up in the tower.
I got one over there in the bunker.
Why are you moving?
Roger.
They said hold for crying out loud. I really wish they could fix the frickin' AIs. Please be an update where you improve the AIs, you know. Okay.
Spotted one with submachine guns.
Round just missing. He's looking for the source. Okay, we're close.
I don't know what just happened. Okay then. Well, one, I grabbed the skill point. I kind of need it. Wait a minute. They're trying to prank me right now.
Get back.
I am just going to run past it. Alright. Now that's out of the way. Ah, shit.
It's a Santa Blanca commendation. Those Sicarios will be missing this.
Alright. And that is a Kingslayer file. Or a legend. It's probably yeah, it's a legend. It's not a Kingslayer file. It would have told me something. I wish they did a thing in this game where it was a excuse me. The collectibles actually reflected the story, then there would be a reason to collect them. But you're just collecting for the hell of it. Or do something corny like, oh, we lost all these files in a plane crash. And they are important documents you must obtain. If you don't obtain them, then they don't have a intelligence on our own enemy.
I got a third target.
Walk away.
Clear over here.
Intelligence. That was like the last thing I had to collect. Oh wow. Wait a minute. Okay. I was gonna say that's not physically possible since files are on top of the thing, right? And it looks so weird because
Closing ranks.
it looks like I could say the weight could be, you know, the weight of the actual papers aren't gonna hold it, especially if it's so tipped down, the other files will fall down with it. But I realized they have so much files on top of each other. With that one file, the paper, basically paperweight, that thing's gonna stay still. So I thought there was a lot of physics being broken of weight, or technically the weight of it being broken. By the way, I'm on tier 1 and I am tier 28, so I am on tier 28. I am trying to finish up tier 1 and get over with because I freaking, oh my god, I wish, I don't know what happened to extreme setting. The ghost setting was so perfect too. Like, I like that. I had a name to it, not just extreme. It's so boring. The name of the difficulty, at the very last hardest difficulty, is not even. It's not even a. It's just extreme. No one. Why would you? You had a good name for it. For instead of being extreme ghost difficulties, is it fits with the game. And of course, the last difficulty is flipping hard as hell, really hard. God, that sounds so wrong. But it just sucks. Just sucks so bad. The extreme difficulty, but you can't. It just forces you to go in stealth, which is nice. But at the same time, if you have to do open combat, you don't have an even fight, even if it is challenging. But it's still. I find that to be such bullshit too.
Stay there.
I gotta find a better opening. Yep, I knew it.
Signal's all bad. Jamming the drone. I asked the rebels to do a recon of the area.
Transmitting intel on enemy position. Hey, I do need that soldier. By the helipad.
And then also, another thing I also just noticed It's you can't dodge much homing rockets anymore.
Unidad bird approaching. Stay down. Down, get down, chopper.
There we go.
Marking an enemy.
I thought that fell for a moment.
Hold up, they're gonna spot you.
Crouchy, crouchy, crouchy.
Sniper, top of the tower.
Oh, I love doing that. I kind of figure if this base is more open and you can hide in more places. I realize.
Got the alarms. Reinforcements will be flying in.
I asked the rebels to recon the area for us.
I fear having. I love how snipers are in this place, but they're so devious. In this place, it's fine, but it's kind of terrible if they have them out here because they're the first ones getting shot. Because, you know, every common mind is like, oh, let's take down the snipers first.
Back it up, they're gonna see you.
Headshot too, oh wow.
We're still alright.
I'm gonna keep using spotting so I have a general idea of the place. I'm pretty sure there are SAMs.
I asked the rebels to do a recon of the area.
You know, it'd be kind of cool if they did what they added. A really cool thing that they should have added was squad customization. You can disguise within the enemy lines. You have to have the right gun and outfit. Like if you take him down, you can get dressed as him. And split like in Hitman, how you can disguise yourself and blend with the environment. And if you do something suspicious, you know, they catch you. That'd been really cool as well. Oh, or in Prototype where you can consume someone, take their body memories and all crap like that, and then simply turn into them, disguise with the, you know, stuff like that.
Got a target carrying submachine guns.
It just sucks there was barely no immersive with this game. It's terrible. Ubisoft doesn't listen to anything. They create this community, right? So understand my point here. They create this community. You know, they want you to be part of the community, buy their stuff. but once they need to, you know, goes and it's for stuff like that. How come you don't listen or make like a voting system for the majority of the people who want something? You know, it's, and especially you're asking community, what should we do for our next game, and then don't listen to anyone's opinion. Like, do you understand? You just made a useless community, not like a community that has your back and is trying to give you a game thing, but yet you don't listen to a single damn thing they say, especially if you're making an open world and it's multiplayer and this and that, it's supposed to be this and that, blah blah blah, the best game in the country, but yet you don't listen to your community. It makes no sense. It makes no sense why you create a community for socialization, but then when you ask for ideas, they give you really good ideas. Obviously some people are going to hate that, it's fine, but you could at least put a voting system out there and have a good development team with you to make a better game. You just made here. This is a good game. This is just an alpha of a game. This is not really full game to me. I understand it's not a PC game. And alpha is like PC this, and it's a brand new type of concept. But I mean, you made a useless concept because you don't listen to anyone. And it's pointless. Really flipping pointless.
I asked the rebels to recon the area for us.
It's so dumb. So you create a socialized community, but then you don't listen after you ask for ideas yourself. Real intelligent, Ubisoft. Real intelligent. You turned our whole world around to make you sound like complete shitheads. Don't know how to make a good game. God, I could if I was on your development team, Ubisoft, I would have made such a better game than this. Even though I love Ghost Recon with all my heart, but still, my point is, you fucked up the whole concept of Ghost Recon. After you made so many... Get this. They make so many... I want to say it without laughing. I'm trying to be serious. But...
Rally on me.
You overpaid a product that you half-assed on, when back then Assassin's Creed games and all these other games were so good, and you fucked up the most other concept of these. Like, do you not understand? Do I need a baby? Do I need like a 4th grader? Or a 5-year-old to tell you what you're doing is terrible. You doing half-ass work, especially to a game you say, oh, we put so much work in it, but at the same time you what? I don't know what to say, guys. I really don't. You are like one of my favorite gaming companies. One of them. Because you made Assassin's Creed and stuff like that so good. So good. And then you just... When it comes to this, you freak out over stupid shit and don't realize you have a good idea. You have the most... If you want to make a good game, go all out on it. And make it a really good... Like, Jesus Christ, put some goddamn heart and soul in it. It's, at this point, it's pointless. It's pointless to make a game then. But if you're gonna get this lazy when people were rooting for you, you're just pathetic. You didn't make a good game at all. You may made a game that everyone wants or been waiting for, but you fucked up the whole game entirely. You keep trying to make all these games at once when you don't need it. You're not Call of Duty. Sorry, I love that because Call of Duty makes games every flippin' month, and then they make you wait for another year until you can be able to play after they already have the concept down and already creating another game. Like the Infinite Warfare and came out. I think they both. Hold on, let me look this up. Because if I'm right, I'm telling you, this is gonna be really funny. I'm pretty sure Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare came out the same year. Hold on, when did Infinite come out? 2016. Okay. When did Black Ops 3 come out? November 6th, 2015. So basically, they already had another trailer coming after that year later, instead of focusing on that one game. Oh my god, I can't even, like, literally all these, like, I'm reading all the Call of Duty. 2010, Ghost came out like 2013, that was a little bit newer, that was a little bit different. Black Ops 1, 2 came out, I think Black Ops 2 came out in November 2012, 2 years later from that, 2010, and then they had 2014, 16, and 15. Like a year later, they didn't focus on one game. They were never focused on one game, so they kept making more. So you basically fucked yourself because now you're so focused on getting so many other games out, which is fine. That's what a gaming company does. But without focusing on one game for a year, like a year, and then that year and a half, and then make another one, I can understand that. Division, half-ass, stupid. Good concept, a good concept, but you fucked it up completely. Again, you made a good concept, but then you don't. When people had, like, if you had a concept of Ghost Recon and the Division, it would have made a better game. Because the attachments in this game is really good, the guns in this game is really good, Division guns are really cool and good, but then you didn't put in the work. I understand you put like a level system, that's fine, but the leveling system and the equipment did shit because no one made no progress. You know, yes, you were trying to make a game that grinds, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but you made such a useless concept then, because especially, just saying, the Dark Zone bullshit was a good idea. That was a good idea. But you fucked up the PvP. Because now, there's people who are leaving Division because they keep getting preyed on. Because, you know, they're trying to get the Division and have some fun with it. But then, okay, I'm gonna say this now. If you ever do this, or ever listen, ever in your fucking lifetime, I swear to God, if I ever worked for Ubisoft, guys, oh my god, I would fucking wreck their shit, make such better games than them, better ideas, better concept, make a community that I can actually get their ideas in the games, and, you know, etc. But I'm so tired of hearing Ubisoft half-assing their games. When they I think they keep rushing their games in 1 year. I think, hold on, I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, in 1 year, because over they're making Assassin's Creed Origins, right? And Far Cry 5. And then they have another development team, a big company development team, for Ghost Recon and the Division. They're still updating the Division, right? That's fine. But the guns, not the guns, I'm trying to say, the concept of the Division, let me do one section at a time, let me explain each one of my theories, or idea of it. Because Division, I'm gonna start with the Division. Division was good. It wasn't too bad of a game, I will admit it wasn't too bad, but it was still terrible because if you were gonna make a whole open world in New York, have everything in New York open world. Have everything in New York, you know, in there. You don't have to, what was the point of half of New York? And there was no point of making there was no point to making the Division, and then if you were planning on having New York as being the concept or the whole game, why would you keep a small section instead you have that whole section open to make it into a more immersive world, instead of just a smaller, more closer concept of New York? It makes no sense to me. You know, it's you having that big of a world would have worked, because you made Bolivia, a whole state of Bolivia, the playground for Ghost Recon Wildlands. You did that, but in the Division, you didn't make everything in New York open to players. You would have had a bigger and more immersive dark zone if you had everything in New York open. You would be able to make some dark zones. For example, by the Statue of Liberty, it could have been some of the dark zone, like one section, like a new area, and then that whole section as you had for the whole game. Not Manhattan, but wait. Hold on, let me just state that. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Manhattan is where you start off in. Yeah, it was Manhattan you start off in, and then you start off more in the actual city. That whole city section with Manhattan could have been a big dark zone. The whole thing could have been a dark zone. And they would have had a more open world, more immersive, with more missions and gear. Like, you could have had a lot more missions in there, made it more of a bigger game. And you could took some time, I got that. But if you knew what New York was like by heart, you could have made that whole area really immersive. You could have made a great if you had the hit marks and players, like the customization for Ghost Recon and the Division combined, you would have had a really detailed character customization then. If you had the clothes from some clothes in the Wildlands in the Division, it would have made a more better game, in my opinion. But if you had a good, if there was levels to the enemies, but the guns did the same damage as the enemies. But if it was a hard difficulty, I can understand that. It was obviously a hard difficulty. You need better gear and guns for that. But I mean, it was still a bit more challenging. Especially, I realized New York would have been really good in stealth as well. You had the whole city to yourself for a good stealth for an ambush point. And you would have had people playing out their missions everywhere. Like, it would have made perfect sense then. It would have been a good. What happened? And the PvP part in the Dark Zone. Let me explain this. All right, just let me explain very slowly and detailedly what they should have done with the Dark Zone. The looting system's fine. I don't care about that. But they could have done a PvP, like if they were doing a Ghost Recon PvP, right? Like just normal Call of Duty based, like old-fashioned Call of Duty based combat of PvP. They could have done that with a Dark Zone, but then keep the stats the same way to other enemies. Like, the stats were fine, but you could have done a bigger concept of the PvP perspective instead of higher players bigger than the lower players, because then it wouldn't be. Because if you're putting in the same bracket, right, it would have been useless, because then what? You would have. It's a dumb concept because, oh my, let me kill this guy. This guy's like, he has me in fights. But as I was saying, the concept for the Dark Zone, right? It could have been something like this. PvP Call of Duty concept was a good PvP because there was no leveling system, where if you were higher than the enemy, then you would have wrecked the enemy more easily, because they had a leveling up system, and it was just, oh, you get new guns. Like, do something like that in the Dark Zone. Like, keep it separate from single player and connecting it with. Actually, no, I take that back. Connect it with the single player, but when the people are trying to kill each other, keep it like a Call of Duty concept where everyone's health is the same. There's no difference in health. Yes, you get perks, obviously. Make it like every gun should not be leveled. Only for single player and dark zone wise for killing other enemies. That's fine. Keep that leveling system for those guns. Or do something for ranking up a different gun system, right? You have a gun, right? You customize it completely. You unlock attachments for the dark zone, from the dark zone, right? Or single player, it doesn't matter. But having and have a gun leveling up something, for example, when they did something right, tier 1 is perfect. This would have fit, like this whole tier 1 would have been able to, this would have fit right in the Division Dark Zone and the main game as well. But except obviously tier 1 you're going down to get to 1, but for example, as my main example, tier 1 would be kind of challenging towards the enemies, but not the players. Well, the players will be challenging the players for killing the enemies because you have to keep switching difficulties. That's fine. Tier 1 would have been perfect for single player. Multiplayer wise, this would have been like a ranking system right here. But except you would be starting at 1 going to higher, like a higher system. Like the higher level cap could have been like 40 or 30, whatever. But think about it this way. This here would have worked for Division and the single player data. Because as you have you have your level system, you have your levels. Hold on, let me go to my player. Where's my leveling thing? I should have a level. Oh, no, not that. No, not that. Fuck. On. Let me cancel this. There you go. Hold on, I'm trying to find my task force profile. Grunt. So it's basically you have your stats like this. It would have been good for the Division because it would have made sense, right? Because if you're going to the Division and you're going to the Dark Zone and you're checking your stats, if you just press start and go to player and you had something like this, like a task force type thing, it would have made worse. It would have made sense from that point. But right now, it's not making any sense for here. If you had obviously this, but it's not. It's more Division related than Wildlands related. This would have made sense as a profile wise for checking your player stats. In Division, you do player stats is kind of cool and all, but it's a different gameplay. What you did in Division, it's kind of textbook and it's kind of boring. It's not a new concept. But if you had something like a PvP thing, it had the level like here and how much XP, blah blah blah, would have made sense for the Division. I understand you made a level concept thing for, for the Division. That's fine. That's cool. That's brand new. But you could add so much more to that game, like stealth, or like you're doing with the Wildlands. You want stealth or quiet or loud. But you could at least done both. I mean, it would have made sense because you add suppressors to the damn game to a point where you're able to use it, but not be able to do anything with it. I don't know why I'm using my drone. But my point is that could have worked, like tier 1 type stuff would have worked, like a good leveling system. Oh, let me explain myself again. Let me re-explain. Tier like this could have been like a multiplayer PvP ranking of XP, obviously starting from 1, going up to a higher level cap as possible. That would have made sense for this. PvP wise, this could have been a good ranking system. And the Dark Zone, obviously Dark Zone's not that bad, but this would have been a good leveling ranking system for PvP, and it would have made sense. Excuse me, I'm like losing my voice here. But I also just realized too. Oh god, I'm trying to like get somewhere. Sneaky boop. Anyway, a good like look how big this map is, right? This is all Bolivia. Remember this is all Bolivia. This is a huge ass map. But the division, New York was smaller than Bolivia, I think. Don't get this. Don't yell at me. I'm not an expert on geographic, okay? I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure Bolivia is bigger than New York itself. Unless I'm wrong, then whatever. I'm okay with that. But they could have had everything in New York unlocked. It could have been a more bigger concept for everything in New York to be open up to players. Obviously, there'll be some areas if you want to do it for like DLC, for example. You did. I'm trying to remember the DLC. It's you went to a different area. You're playing your helicopter crash in like a certain area. That's fine. I understand if you're closing some maps for DLC, but as I heard from other people, you did nothing. You did jack shit to that area anyways. So you basically ruined your DLC by saying, "Oh, you're surviving a new area in New York," and then you fucked it up when it wasn't that great of an area anyway. I mean, it makes no sense now. You're in a new area, but yet you still managed somehow to fuck up that area. There was so much more you could have done to the Division for single player, but PvP, this could have been a good PvP ranking system. The guns, you could have picked like a favorite gun or rank up that gun to do damage to enemies, or for example, damage to like damage to enemies, and you have your stats like toughness, health, skill, power, health, or primary DPS. Like that made more sense, right? I mean, what would make sense? That made sense to me. That was fine. I wasn't bothered by that. But you could have done a better ranking system for Dark Zone PvP, or the damage towards other players in the Dark Zone. Because that's stupid. It makes no sense. It's dumb. Your shitty damage to players PvP bullshit in the Dark Zone failed. You guys suck. Make it better. As I'm saying, make it like everyone has the same health. Damage to the same amount of damage to the players, but doesn't do the same damage to the enemies. It's more challenging towards the enemies than the players. Because everyone would have a chance fighting higher level players with a better ranking system or better stats than every other player. Because you have other people coming from the higher, like Dark Zone. How do I say this? Not ranking system, but a different bracket, I should say. Coming down to a lower bracket and hunting down lower players. You did something like that, but yet you still had people transferring to other people to help them. Well, your friends, obviously, but that's dumb. Why would you make it worse for other people trying to go in the Dark Zone that has good loot, quote unquote, good loot in that Dark Zone that they need in the single player game? Then you just made it impossible, quote unquote, impossible to get that loot. And it just breaks my. Because you had such a good concept going. Like you have a good game concept going, and you demolished it. You demolished the whole concept and made the game worse. You could have done so much better with it. I'm telling you now, if you had a concept like this, like stealth-wise and every other gameplay in the Division, if you had something like that going on, like Call of Duty concept where everyone has the same health, the gun do the same amount, like do different damage to other players, but still gets the job done because you have a fighting chance towards it, then you would have, at that point, you kind of would have had a better you know, PvP concept in the Division. Because you would have had a Wildlands concept where enemies have the same health as the players, but the higher damage and the bosses don't. You have shields and everything like you do in the Division. Like the purple is like command, like lieutenants and stuff like that. Then the gold is obviously the boss and the high-end boss with shields and all that. That would have made sense. That's fine, but gotta skip the crap out of me. I was like my cat. But it would then you would have more people would probably would buying your game then. It would have been cool. It would have been good. It would have been your Dark Zone experiment would have worked then, because then you would have had a good PvP concept. If this was your first time with an MMO, I can understand that. Obviously, you still have a lot of work to do. But Wildlands is a different story. You should have learned from your mistakes before. You know, you can't demolish you have such a good idea, right? You demolish the whole concept and smush it into pieces. And to be honest with you, you are one of my favorite gaming companies because, you know, I've been playing Assassin's Creed since I was like, what, a teenager? I played Brotherhood, and I played 2. You made such good games, and now you're just demolishing your own company, man. Why? Why have you been demolishing your own company lately? So, but, I don't know. To me, I think you would have made a good company by then if you know, done what you needed supposed to. Especially if you listen to other people, you know, you would have had a big immersive company and a community base, which would have made you keep going and made better games. People would have bought a high-end game because of how good it was. Like you're not terrible people. But you're ruining and demolishing your own company because you're not understanding where people are coming from and what point they're making. And don't get me wrong, do a voting system and see how far you can go with that. Like, trust me, if you do a voting system and take the time, you could make really good games from now on with new concept and new graphics and new people. Like, they would understand then. Bad players who hate other people and hate other ideas because they want to and just because they complain, you don't even have to listen to them because they'll learn that, okay, now I see where this person's coming from or where this company is coming from and why they're doing it. People who don't complain about, you know, that concept I was just talking about is because they're the ones who are making it far without that concept, you know, because it's uneven to other people, which makes them strive in everyday life. That's the reason they do. It's the reason they, you know, they complain is because they're the ones suffering, but yet they're succeeding, so they're kind of making people suffer more, because they want to. So I mean, that's it's weird and it's bad to say. But I'm not lying, I'm being serious. Alright, I need a division lure. Oh my god. Wait, what? Hello? Yes! Wait, do I have... For a second I thought I had a new appearance thing. Oh, let me go to my favorite guns. Like, all these pistols could have been in the Division. All these shotguns and all these weapons you have in the Division could have been. Well, I think some games you do have in, like, the MP7. The AUG 83 is not in there, but you have the little SMG AUG. I think you have some snipers like this, but not the SVD, I think. But all these assault rifles, no, I don't want that. All these assault rifles and the customization and attachments could have been in the Division. It would have been really cool. And in here as well, could have been really good. All this could have been. Oh, I think you have the Vector. Yeah, I think you have the Vector. I know you have the Vector, the Scorpion, and MP7. But all the rest of these could have been in the Division and customized like you do in the Division, and the gun damage in the Division. But with like you level up the guns if you want to. You can want to, like, for example, low tier weapons. You can rank up to a certain amount of what's that? To a certain amount of levels, and then you have to get, then after it's overdone to higher level enemies, you have to get better guns and rank up that gun to be better to upgrade the primary DPS and secondary DPS. Instead of having both separate, just have overall damage. So the overall damage to enemies. So just put damage overall basically in your skill, instead of saying change it to where instead of it being, you know, for example, because at tier 8 you're able to level up your, oh no, oh god, deleted it, I deleted it, just kidding. You can do it to a point where this, like what they're doing, like you could damage it to, for example, the highest level of this type of weapon could be to 5. You can only be the 5 or the 10, how much you want to do it. So after this, because the damage is so low and it's not working on higher level enemies, switch it to, let's say, this. I would have to switch to this. I would switch it to this gun then, because this gun's more higher and I can upgrade it to 5 to make it better. To do it instead of doing it with just primaries, do it with the secondary weapons as well. Like, for example, this is higher than my MP5, not MP5, I'm sorry. My let's say, for example, PTSD. Yeah, for P45T. See, this is a level, I would be able to level to 5 if it's not working on higher level enemies. Since for example, the riders are low level tier enemy and they're bosses, so that'd be an easier enemy kill with this pistol up to level rank 5. Then I would want to go to 5.7 USG to a higher ranking system for each gun. For example, if this is only level 1, if it goes to level 5, it's good in other battles. But towards other players, if I'm doing PvP, for example, I would have to get better gear in the Dark Zone to get the job done towards other players. If you're doing like a separate multiplayer thing, like you pick one map and they all go at it for like domination or team deathmatch, or you even do hardcore like you do in Call of Duty. Like that'd be good for people who like ghost difficulty. You know what I'm saying? That would work. So, for example, you could have all these weapons I have right here, like all these like little goofy weapons. For example, 5.357 Joker, the Whisper, Jackdaw pistol. Do little like references to other games you made. These type of guns could have been like golden weapons to earn through headshots, or you have to get a certain amount of kills in a match, or the Dark Zone, get a certain amount of kills in the Dark Zone, and then the Dark Zone weapons do all these little boss weapons like the BFF. You have to get a certain amount of kills to earn this weapon in a loot crate, like something like that, and you need to get 120 stealth kills to get the BFF, like something stupid. Oh, I don't know why I switched between Defler.
See how they insinuate.
So do something like that. That can and will work. People will not like it at first, but then they'll get used to it. You know, it's not always about them towards what makes your game better, instead of what makes them, what other players, you know, makes the other players, you know, think about the majority instead of just a few people. Then your game, I will say, will get a lot better. I'm just saying, I understand you don't want to listen to your player base, but at a point you kind of need to, because you never know. People may surprise you. So I mean, I'm just wanting to give you a heads up. It will work. You gotta trust, you know. Start looking. And also, I also thought if you had drones in the game or some like you can repair vehicles and stuff like that, that'd been really cool. Yeah, I don't have to eat or drink it, but it would be really cool if you had a drone system or a car system. Like you can take it to a garage and repair it, but it won't be like it'd be like a post-apocalyptic car, not upgrades where it has weapons on it, but upgrades where it's able to you can drive the places instead of if you like you can walk to have fast travel and some vehicles like you have like a little bike or a motorcycle or something like that instead of just, you know, like you have in the wildlands. I mean, that'd be cool. To me, I just think that'd be so cool if you had that. It would have made sense then. Instead of always thinking to make everyone happy when you're not going to. You're just more of... It's more of, you know, you're gonna make what makes your game better. Games, you know, you can't always rush perfection, but you can rush in how good your game is. Okay. Damn it. Well. Oh. Why did I take the alarm though? Ah. Damn it. Yeah, fuck you.
There's always another chopper out there somewhere, right?
Oh, what? God damn it, I was here for that. Oh god! I thought that was one of my teammates. Oh man. Ugh. Oh god. Hello. Oh god! Oh, they have to fix it. I don't know. Oh my god, they have to fix extreme difficulty. I don't have a fighting chance, man. That's why I upgraded bulletproof, you know. God damn it. Damn it, dude. I had a good thing going. Anyway. But, as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching my thoughts of the Division. I care. I care about the Division, guys. I'm telling you. I care about the Division. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you later.